Phelan Boulevard, inviting you to join us each and every Wednesday. Starting next Wednesday, we're doing Monday tonight because we got a game coming up on Thursday. Coach Pete Rossomando, I know you guys are ready to get after it.
We are. We're ready to play somebody else for sure.
Just talk about a little bit about the progress for you, your coaching staff, your team from the day you arrived on campus.
Well, I think it's it's been a process, so to speak. Putting one foot in front of the other every day, trying to get out, recruit, and make sure we put together a great product when we get out there on the field Thursday. And I think we're heading in that direction. We got a real solid group of young men who really buy into the process and have done a great job with our off-season program. We had all those guys here in the summer, which is such a blessing to have those guys here training with our strength coach and being on a meal plan. It was a great opportunity for us to not only bond as a team, but also work really hard, get bigger, faster, and stronger.
Just got stick our heads out the front door. It's no secret, 110 degrees outside. Talk about the workouts. Do you break it down a little bit? Water breaks, keep it hydrated. I mean, this is a whole new ball game, even for Southeast Texas. We've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, totally different for me as I'm putting together practice schedules, different from anything I've ever done as far as making sure we have hydration breaks, making sure that we're practicing the proper time of day, all that, making sure you're giving them enough time to sleep. The nutrition has to be right, making sure they get the right amount of calories per day. So that's really been something new for me coming down from the Northeast. You really don't worry about that kind of weather up there. You get a thunderstorm, everybody runs for the hills. And, here we had 107 degrees. I think it was 10 days in a row. And our guys just did a great job of battling through it. And, there is a toughness factor to it and making sure you can push through. There's also, a player safety part of it where you make sure that your players are safe. But from practice 1 to practice 22, which I think we just finished today, the guys have done a great job of building, their endurance and building everything they can build to be in shape for the game, and I think we are.
That's coming up on Thursday. Nationally ranked Idaho coming to town. Do you like opening on Thursday? One of the first schools to do so. Of course, you had a couple of games this past weekend, but for the most part, the majority of colleges start on Saturday. We're starting on a Thursday. Do you like that?
I do. I think it's good. I think it's the only show in town. I think it's gives our guys the opportunity to showcase their stuff in front of the world, and just excited to be playing before everybody else. And then you get that extra day off, which helps towards next week, and really get your players an opportunity to get healthy again.
Now, for you and your family, making the adjustment from the East Coast to Southeast Texas, what's that been like? I'm sure you're loving Southeast Texas. Just talk about the adjustment away from the football field for you and your family. What's that been like?
Well, the people have been incredible. I mean, really welcoming. The city of Beaumont's awesome. They want a winner. They've welcomed us in with open arms, and my son's obviously playing high school football here for his senior year, so that's been a tremendous transition for him. But it's been great. They welcomed him with open arms, and the coaches have been awesome. And he played his first game last Friday night. So, and the great part is I was able to go out and watch him play. And
what was that like to watch your kid play high school ball?
Well, they say that the lights are bigger in Texas, and there's no question about it. It was a great atmosphere. The stands were filled. People were excited to be out there watching high school football, and it was great for my son to be a part of that.
Of course, he's at Lumberton, and they lost to state-ranked Hampshire Finette, and Lumberton state-ranked, so that was two good ball clubs. Again, we are at Little Woodrow's. Come out and see us each and every Wednesday, kicking it off on a Monday this week because of the start of the football season. We're back with more from Coach Pete Rossomando. News Talk 560 KLVI, Harold Mann along with Lamar University football coach Pete Rossomando. We're at Little Woodrow's out here on Phelan Boulevard, not far from Dowling Road. Come on by and see us in the Colonnade Shopping Center. Kicking it off on a Monday this year because of the Thursday game against Idaho coming up this week, but starting next week during the duration of the football season, we're out here each and every Wednesday. We invite you to come out. Nice crowd out here tonight to get the Cardinals kicked off. We're good. Thank you all much for showing up. Now, being a new coach, with the new staff, what was the early message to your football team, especially to the returning players?
Just really just buy in. I mean, that's really what it was all about for us, was just, here was the plan. This is what we were going to start with. And really what we started with was three main factors in our program. One was toughness, mental and physical toughness. We were going to challenge them mentally and challenge their mental toughness throughout the winter. Accountability, making sure that they were accountable for their actions, and then discipline. Obviously you can't have accountability without discipline. So we worked really hard on that in the spring, and those were the only things I wanted them to focus on. I didn't want to have a million slogans, a million quotes. I just wanted to say, hey, this is what we were going to be, and this is what I want our football team to look like. And we just went to work, and we hired an incredible strength and conditioning coach, Pat Walker, who has just transformed the way our players think about the day-to-day. Really has worked hard to get our players' mental aspect right. And him and I are in lockstep in everything we do. So I trust him, I appreciate him, I love him, and I really, our players are better for having him in their lives, and that's where it all started. And now we're focusing on the X's and the O's of it right now.
You kind of coattailed on my next question, because you had mentioned that last week at a gathering. Can't win them all if you don't win the first. Quitters never win. Winners never quit. You see, you're not into that kind of stuff. The slogan type stuff.
Not really.
Because you got to take care of business on the field.
Yeah, there are some cliches that we use, and the reason they become cliches is because they're true, and they've been tested over time. So we use some of those, but really it's just about toughness, accountability, and discipline. If we can have those three things in our program, we're not going to not only win a lot of football games, but we're going to develop unbelievable young men who are great parts of our community and incredible professionals, great husbands, great fathers. That's really what we're trying to do every day.
Something you talked about on the day you were introduced at Lamar University when you were named the new head football coach, you really stressed on the student part of the student athlete. They're student first, athlete second. Stress the importance of your kids doing real well in the classroom.
Well, I mean, I want players that want to go to the NFL. I mean, you want players that feel like they're going to be able to play at the highest level. I think that's something that you recruit guys that want that and that have that in their mind, but you also want guys that have perspective and understand that it's only about 4% of, college seniors that are going to even get a shot at a professional league. So we want to make sure we're ready for life after football, and that's kind of what we harp on every single day.
We are talking Lamar University football with Coach Pete Rossomando. We're at Little Woodrow's on Phelan Boulevard in Beaumont for the Coach Ross Show. News Talk 560 KLVI back out of Little Woodrow's talking Lamar University football. Coach Pete Rossomando. Cardinals getting ready to open up the 2023 season Thursday night against Idaho. Before that, we're kind of looking at the screen watching the Astros. And baseball fan?
Yeah, I like baseball.
I mean, you're an East Coast guy, because I know what you're going to tell us, but who's your favorite Major League team?
I'm a Mets fan.
Mets?
Yeah, I'm a Mets fan.
Okay, now, being a New York guy, how do they separate? Who decides? Are Yankee fans? Who's Mets fans? Or just...
So you have to picture this. My formative years in sports was around the mid to late 80s.
Okay, so you had Doc Gooden in those
guys. So you had, the Mets with Doc Strawberry, Kevin Reynolds and Keith Hernandez, Gary Carter. That was my first real, influential baseball team. And then the New York Giants won the Super Bowl in '86. So, that was like, those were the two teams that I kind of latched onto. But my grandfather was probably my biggest male role model, and he was a Brooklyn Dodger fan. And when they left, Brooklyn Dodger fan could never be a Yankee fan, so he stopped watching baseball until the Mets came around. So that's how he became a Met fan, and then now I'm a Met fan.
Let's not talk about that. You mentioned your grandfather, but besides that, football-wise, growing up, what teams you root for, who'd you idolize, and I mean, everybody had the dream growing up to be in the NFL.
Yeah.
And you've answered the dream with so many guys out there. You're a coach at a Division I level. But your role model was a football player growing up.
Oh, player, my high school football coach for sure. I mean, Joe George, he's a high school coach in New Jersey now. Most influential male figure in my life other than my oldest brother. But, yeah, I mean, I still talk to him. He was in my wedding. He was the reason why I wanted to go to class and do well academically. He was the reason why I wanted to play defense. He was just one of those influential people on me, and we've stayed in touch ever since.
Now, do you try to pattern your coaching style after him or any other coach? Or do you just try to develop your own thing?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that, Tony Sperano and Joe George and Bob Ford, I coach for at Albany. I think all of them have some influence on my coaching style, as well as the last three coaches that I work for, and Derek Mason at Vanderbilt, and Chris Ash at Rutgers, and just most recently Will Healy at Charlotte. I think I've taken a little bit from everyone, kind of built my philosophy around what I believe in, and just used some of their methods, and it's been great just kind of combine those.
Again, a new staff. You do have a couple of familiar faces from the last couple of years on your staff, but just talk about your staff a little bit.
Yeah,
your coordinators and your coaching staff.
Offensive coordinator is Will Fleming, and he comes from a football family. His dad's the head coach at University of Rhode Island. So he's been around it. He's a really, really intelligent football coach, great with quarterbacks, good at developing them and bringing them along, and he's done an awesome job for us. And, I have my hand in the offense, but he's running it, he's calling it, he's doing all those things that a coordinator does. And, he's really good for our players. He's got a calm, cool demeanor. He's fiery, but he's got a really good demeanor. Our defensive coordinator, Drew Christ, came from Boston College. He was an analyst there, and he'd been my D coordinator before at Central Connecticut when we won the championship. And loved the stuff that he does on defense. I think he brings a lot of problems. As a play caller, I know he did for me. So it's great to have him on our staff. And then we got two guys doing special teams, Daryl Deline, our inside linebackers coach, and Dave Stedman, our outside linebacker coach. Both guys have coached with me before. Both are aggressive, detail-oriented guys, and I think you'll see that on special teams on Thursday night.
Maybe some of your other coaches along the way. I mean, this is our first visit with you, and still plenty of time on the show. So just talk about other coaches you've brought in and the guys that you held over.
Well, Matt Canada is our line coach. He came from he's a Houston native. Went to I want to say went to Clemens out in Fort Bend area.
Sugar Land Clemens.
Yeah, great recruiter. I worked with him at Charlotte. Really, really detailed guy. Fiery. Love him. I'm sure the players love him. I know they do. Got Tony Sperano's son Andy. He's on our staff. It's his birthday today, actually. So happy birthday, Andy. He's done a great job working with our tight ends. And then running backs, Todd Macon, really, I think he's a guy that stars on the rise as far as the coaching profession. He's a young 28-year-old, but man, he has been tremendous because we have a full backfield right now. Mm-hmm. He's done a great job managing those guys and making sure they all get the right amount of reps, and he's done a great job. And, really happy with our staff on offense, and then defense. I mentioned our two special teams coordinators, but we brought in a great defensive line coach named Lorenzo Jackson from Mississippi College, but he was also at Ohio State with Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson's one of the most sought-after defensive line coaches in the country, and he worked with him, and he's brought a lot of those things to the table for us in our group there, and I think that's the reason why that group has really come around and grown up a lot over the last 2 months. And then we got obviously Wayne Cordova, who's with us last year. Wayne's been tremendous. He's a great, calm demeanor. Love the way he coaches that group of safeties. He's been incredible. And then obviously you got Kobe Gibson, who, Kobe was with us, and he runs our recruiting, and he knows everybody in the state of Texas. And what a tremendous resource for our players too, because he really believes in them, loves them, treats them like his own kids, and just so blessed to have this staff together and be able to work with those guys every day. And I'm sure they think I'm not the best guy in the world to work for at times, but, it is what it is, and, it takes what it takes to get this job done, so we got to make sure.
And speaking of getting the job done, you mentioned a couple guys that have been with you in the past, and you see that when there's a new coach coming in, because you like to have those coaches that are familiar with you and you're familiar with them.
Yeah, they know the philosophy. They know what to understand. The guys that have never worked with me before sometimes probably think I'm crazy. What is he doing? Why is he doing this? Why is he saying that? And those guys will say, hey, he's got a method to his madness. You'll see how it all comes together in the end. And I think that's, and I've talked about our strength coach, Pat Walker, and can't really thank him enough for the job that he's done for our football program and for our university, to be honest with you. So committed to our student athletes. Just loves being here, loves being in the office every day, and loves working with our players. And not just a strength coach, he's a life coach for those guys, and really appreciate what he does.
Now, when it comes to hitting the weight room, how often do you do that once the season begins? I know you got practice every day. Do you lift every day, or do you at set time? How's the weight room schedule work during the season?
Yeah, we have levels. The guys that are going to play the most lift probably 2 times a week, and they lift pretty heavy and pretty aggressively in those 2 days. Usually it's like Monday and Wednesday. And then we have a 3-day group, which is guys that are going to play a minimal amount of snaps, but they aren't redshirting. And then we have a 4-day group, guys that are going to redshirt that we want to develop over the course of time, and they'll hit the weight room 4 days. And we usually work that around their class schedules. That's usually how we do it. But the weight room to me is ultra important, and we're going to use that in the season to get stronger and stay healthy, and we're not going to get rid of it just because we're in season.
Now, is that rule still in place? They could play into up to 4 games.
It is.
So obviously you like that, because it could give a kid 4 games of experience and then shut him down for the year, and he doesn't lose a year of eligibility.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it FCS, but FBS they can play the postseason.
Okay.
So they can play 4 games plus the postseason. So we got to get some clarification on FCS, because when I was at Central, we had a problem with quarterbacks going down in the playoffs, and we didn't want to play the one guy because he was redshirting and he hadn't played in the game yet. So we didn't want to put him in the game and burn his red shirt for half in the playoffs. So we didn't play him. But I think that rule would really be beneficial.
A lot of new faces on this team. Of course, you do have a lot of returning players as well. How are they meshing together? Are they starting to work together as you would hope at this point of with the season getting underway?
Well, I think anytime you put 100 guys in a room and you ask them to be nice to each other and to get along, I think there's going to be some growing pains in that, and we've gone through it. And the most important thing that we do is we confront it head on and we talk about it, and we don't brush anything under the rug in our program. Everything's out in front and out in the open, and sometimes there's hard consequences, and that means lost games, that means lost practices, that means they lose the opportunity to play for us, and unfortunately that has happened. So but that's part of building a program, part of building that toughness, discipline, and accountability.
And I'm sure those are hurdles and issues you talked when you sat down with them at the very beginning, because you talked at the very beginning of the show. Discipline is huge in your football program.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that it was lack of discipline. It was probably just lack of composure.
Okay.
In a lot of those instances, and we have to get better at that, because that's going to happen in a football game. There's going to be a time when someone tests you, and how you react and respond to that is going to decide whether we get a 15-yard penalty or we move on to the next play and we're able to score a touchdown. So.
How are you on the sideline? Animated, laid back? Will we see you bouncing around quite a bit? Energetic? How are you on the sideline?
Energetic. Yeah. If you know me, I'm pretty relentless on the sideline. I'm going to be, fighting for my players the whole game, making sure that the referees are calling the game, the way it's supposed to be, and. Making sure we hold our players accountable and to working really, really hard. And but yeah, I'm going to fight for my guys. I mean, we're out there working together, working for a win, and I want them to know that, I got their backs at all times, and they got to have mine. That's kind of the way I go about it on the sideline. I wouldn't say I'm energetic, but I'm definitely animated. You'll see some fire.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Thursday night. We are at Little Woodrow's talking Lamar University football coach Pete Rossomando here as they get set to open up their season this coming Thursday. Harold Mann along with Coach Pete Rossomando here at Little Woodrow's in the Colonnade Shopping Center. Got kind of loud going on that last break there, Coach. You got the Lamar softball coaches now. Yeah,
we got a lot of coaches here. We got a lot of friends. We got fans. It's a great crowd, so we're happy to have them here. Thank you.
All right, let's talk here about your lineup coming up on Thursday. There's been some folks wondering, and quarterback and good battle going there, and has a decision been made?
I don't think a decision's been made quite yet. We're gonna probably hold it until probably Wednesday. We're just gonna see how it all plays out. But both guys have done a great job of supporting each other and really helping each other out. And I'm so appreciative of the way they handled the situation. Even all three guys have been amazing. It's not what you expect sometimes with quarterbacks. You expect that they're going to be prima donnas and not care about the team, and these guys they've been the complete opposite. So I'm really proud of them, and we want to see one of them step up and have a ton of success on Thursday night.
What about other key positions from the spring game to practice here in the fall as we get ready for the kickoff on Thursday night? Who's really impressed you to this point?
Well, I think along the offensive line, we're playing 3 transfers on Thursday night. You have Thomas Labouche from Arizona State, from France. He's actually from the south of France.
How do we say his last name?
Labouche.
So I got to get Labouche.
Yeah.
Dixon has sent out a big pronunciation guide for me, so I should be good.
And Knox Boy's the right tackle from Charlotte. Played for me there. It's been a stalwart for us. He's just been a great, off the field role model. I mean, he's an exceptional student in the engineering program, but comes to work every single day. Just love being around him, and he's going to help us a lot. And then Eli Ripley, who's the right guard, transferred from Iowa Western, won the national championship last year at Iowa Western.
Really?
And then transferred here in January.
In Council Bluffs, Iowa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Council Bluff, Iowa. And then we had, JaVale Robeson and, Jacob DeSherry and Devin King. Those guys are all kind of working in the middle there, but those guys have been great. I think we've improved our defensive line a whole bunch with some new additions there. I think we got Joshua Feely, the transfer from Brown at safety, really done an unbelievable job for us from a leadership standpoint. He's highly intelligent, but more importantly, he's got a passion for the game of football. And love watching him go out there and play. So I think those are some positions we've really worked hard to get better at. Tight end's another one. We signed Ja'Cory Hyder he's a Woodville guy, Golden Triangle, but he's from UTSA, and he's going to play tight end. He's going to play Thursday, and he's been really starting to play well for us. And I talked this afternoon in the press conference a lot about guys kind of reaching their peak all at different times that are transfers. It just happens for everyone at different speeds, and we're seeing some of our transfers really starting to develop and blossom over the last couple weeks.
Been there with Coach Pete Rossomando. What about skill positions? Running back, will it be multiple running backs we're seeing out there, and just running back on committee, I guess, that so many different guys?
Yeah, I think right now you'll probably, I'm not a committee guy. I'm a guy that wants to play 2 guys, and I think right now it's, Kalen Griffin and Demaje Harris, and I think those guys are going to probably be the bell cows right now. And then, we got those other guys waiting in the wings, and those guys have all played well, and they've all really done a great job for us. But I think those guys have kind of separated themselves a little bit throughout preseason camp.
Elijah Harris, 100-yard kickoff return last year.
Yeah, and
in the record books.
He'll be back there too, return kicks.
What about a receiver?
I think we're really in great shape at receiver. You got Fusilier, who's dynamic, play in the slot, can play outside. He's kind of done everything for us. He can run jet sweeps. He can play in the backfield. I think he can go play quarterback tomorrow and not miss a beat. That's how good a football player I think he is, and he just continues to work at it and get better. I think obviously Savan, who's had it.
He had a great. He was big last year for Lamar, and I'm sure another year has really made him that much better.
Yeah, and he's really taken a leadership role for us, and I really appreciated that from him. And Savan's he's kind of a man of few words, but he does a lot with his actions, and his actions have spoke really, really loudly. I mean, we've had 23 practices now, and he's probably been exceptional in 21 of them.
That's amazing.
And that's a testament to him and the way he comes out every day. And Isaiah Jones, who played last year for us, he's going to be a guy that plays. And then our Westbrook guy, Andre Dennis. Andre's had a good preseason, and he's really come along. And man, he can really, really run. I mean, he's about as fast as a receiver that we have in our program. So.
A lot of good high school kids right here in Southeast Texas. I'm sure you're looking at them.
Sure.
Just talk about, I know you can't really name names, but just talk about recruiting locally.
I mean, we've had some great commitments, over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And, a bunch of guys that we really targeted early, and we recruited hard, and we're going to continue to recruit hard. But, they've committed to Lamar, committed to be a part of what we're doing here. And, every week we watch out for what they're doing, and we see and we communicate with them. And this Friday we can go out and see some of their high school games. So we're going to get out all over and see some of our guys that are committed. But we got guys from Dallas committed. We got guys from Golden Triangle, Houston, out in Tomball. We got guys coming from everywhere, and we're just really excited about what we're building here.
Is Lamar's on the map?
Lamar's getting on the map. Yeah, we're getting there for sure.
One other quick name before we get our final break in. I want to bring up to you a young man that's a true freshman. Carries a very well-known last name when it comes to quarterbacks in the state of Texas, collegiately and even in the NFL. McCown, just talk about him a little bit.
Aiden's development has been great. I mean, he's a tireless worker. He's a guy that it took him a little while to learn the system, and I think that kind of put him a little bit behind the eight ball from a competition standpoint. But
a year ago today, he was playing high school ball.
No doubt. Yeah. And really 2 years ago today, he was playing receiver.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean, he's really only been playing quarterback full-time for a year. Now, he's always thrown, and he's always been a backup, but he's really coming into his own for us, and love his leadership skills, love the human that he is, he's a great person to talk to, and I think he's just going to continue to get better, every single day, and we're going to push him, and we're going to make sure he has all the tools to be successful.
Cardinals open up the season this coming Thursday, 7 o'clock kickoff, Provo Humphrey Stadium. The Vandals from Idaho come to town. We talk about it when we return to Little Woodrose on News Talk 560 KLVI. News Talk 560 KLVI back at Little Woodrose, getting set for the Cardinals and the Vandals. Just to make James Dixon happy, Coach, who's winning the NL East right
now? The Braves, the Braves. I know, James, I know. Listen, I said to James before, it's best part about being a Met fan and being a football coach. By the time you get to August, focus on football. You ain't going to worry about baseball.
Well, they won the World Series 2 years ago. They're up 3-1. He still had no confidence in them. All right. Idaho coming to town on Thursday. A top 10 team, preseason All-American at receiver, quality QB, just solid all the way around. I'm sure you've looked at plenty of video. What are we going to see?
Well, I think you're going to see some guys that can really play offense for sure. The quarterback's outstanding. He's a dual threat guy. He likes to throw. I mean, he's more of a thrower and an operator, but he can run when he tucks it, and he can gain yards, and he'll certainly do that to you. And they got two receivers that are outstanding. They got two guys that can really stretch the field.
One of them was a preseason All-American.
Yeah, he's a bigger guy. He can go up and get the ball, and I mean he's a really good football player. And they got two backs. I mean they do a really good job. I think offensive line. I think they're going to replace a few guys up there, which would hopefully that helps us a little bit. But yeah, they're a good team. They can move the football, and we got to do a really good job of running the ball and tackling and making sure we get them on the ground and avoid those big plays. They live on big plays, so they create them with trick plays. They create them with formations. They create them with mismatches, and they're going to try to find a mismatch and exploit it, and we know that, and we got to do a really good job of playing good team defense.
There's an old saying, the best way to stop an offense is keep it off the field. Are you going to try to little ball control, or just or are we just going to see offensively, what are we going to see from you guys?
I mean, we'll do what we do. I can't say that we're going to run the ball exclusively just to keep them off the field. I think we're going to do what we do, and the most important thing for us is that we get first downs and we continue to matriculate the ball down the field, protect the football. We did not do a great job of that as a team in 2022. We have to do a better job of that. I talked to the team at length on, must be Sunday now, about ball security and what turnovers are going to mean to the football game. And we focused on that all preseason. We focused on it all spring. Our guys understand our stance on it, and if they don't by now, they're just not listening.
Yeah. Going to see you're wearing white at home.
Yeah, I mean, it's first game. We wanted to create some excitement with the whiteout game, like akin to Penn State, and how they fill the stadium with.
So we want fans to wear the white Lamar shirts.
We want them to wear white. Listen, it's before Labor Day. You can wear your white pants. Wear your white pants. Wear your white shorts, white shoes. I see Hanky over there. He wears white shoes. Yeah, I mean, we can get some guys out there and some gals with some white on. We can have a fun night.
And on top of that, it has not been 115, 112, 110 in Moscow, Idaho.
No, I've been to Moscow. I actually played there my senior year in college. We played in the playoffs there in the Kibbe Dome, and yeah, it was balmy. It was balmy. Yeah, I don't know they're going to see anything remotely close to what they're going to see in Southeast Texas. And I know when I came down here from Charlotte, and I thought Charlotte was hot. Man, it's way different down here.
Stepped off that plane and went, wow,
way different.
Your message to Lamar fans, goes without saying, it's been a tough past couple of years for Lamar football. We're really excited what you're doing here. Really excited about the staff you put together, but your message to our fans, because we got to get them out in the seats to support our kids.
Our message is we're working. We're working for you. We're working for our students. We're working for our administration. I mean, our players are out there every day trying to do their best to win football games so that our fans can have an incredible experience. And that includes the fans of Beaumont, that includes the students, that includes our alumni who may not even be at the game but will be streaming it online. But we want to put a great product out there on the field that they see improvement and they see us moving in the right direction. And I just be honest with you, I just hope they're excited about what they're going to see out there, and I want them, and they got to show up to see it.
Yeah.
And I know everybody's waiting, and they got us at arm's distance right now because of what's happened in the past. But we got to put that past behind us. We got to live in the present. The present's a gift. We're in it right now. Let's live in it, and let's support these kids because they're working super hard. And I know everybody works hard. I get it. It's football. They're out there. They're working. They're in the weight room. They're out on the field running. They're practicing in the preseason. But these kids are really pouring into Lamar. And they had an opportunity to leave when the last head coach was let go, and they did not. They stayed. And they stayed because they love Lamar. They love Beaumont. They love the people around here. And they want to see you in the stands. They want to see you supporting them. And listen, there's going to be highs and lows. There is. We're building right now. We're building towards the championship. And, when you build, you have what they call what? growing pains, right? And we're going to have some of those this year.
The old saying, crawl before you walk and walk before you run.
And the thing we're going to do is we're going to fight for the city of Beaumont every day. So we want them out there. We want them fighting for us. And the only way you can fight for us is create a hostile environment for Idaho when they come in here.
Talk about the importance of your kids getting out in the community. When I say community, I'm talking all of Southeast Texas, not just Beaumont, up in Hardin County, Lumberton, over in Orange County, down in Port Arthur, Nederland, Port Neches. How important is it to you to see your team's faces in those communities?
So, I mean, it's important for a lot of reasons, but the main thing is our players have an exceptional gift that they can give to young people, and they have a gift of experience, they have a gift of youthful exuberance, they have a gift of positivity, and we really want them to bring that to the community. And we're in the Beaumont schools this spring. We did a mentoring ship there this spring where we worked through some middle schools and some elementary schools. Each week we went out and we spent some time with them, and we wanted to not only create a fan base, but just let the kids know that they have people that are supporting them. And we were in Baytown at some elementary schools. And yeah, we're just going to continue to grow that. And we're Amy Hooks is here. I know that, and I know she.
Yeah, they're waving there.
Yeah, she doesn't want me to work really hard to get the
red cup.
The red cup. We're working on it though. we're going to get there.
Those kids when they see these football. I mean, you're talking about a third or fourth grader, maybe even a seventh grader. A 6'5", 285-pound guy walks up and starts talking to them. They're impressed, and they look up to those players.
They do. They do. And that's a tremendous responsibility for our players, too. Yeah. And how they conduct themselves on campus and on social media, because all those kids now will go to social media and follow them because they want to see what they're going to put out there. So it's a responsibility, and I think our players have done a great job with it. They're not perfect. Yeah. Nobody is. And, we're continuing to work with them and educate them. And obviously Jeff O'Malley and his staff do a great job of helping us with that. And James Dixon, as much as I don't like to give him credit, I have to give him some credit. But
no one does.
We want to make sure that we get our kids all those opportunities to learn from those things. But, yeah, I mean, we want them out there giving their gift to others.
You touched on a little bit. Do you sit down, or did you sit down with them and say, what you put on social media is out there forever? Be careful.
We do. We have the social media talk, and it's a different world we live in now. There was no cameras in the locker room when I was coming up. There was no cameras in bars when I was coming up, and those things are different now. They live in a different world, and a lot of it's by choice, but they have to understand their responsibilities, and we talk about it all the time. We talk about it ad nauseum, and they regurgitate it back to us, so I know they're listening.
Another area that we talk about the fans in the stands, the student body. You get the kids getting out, meeting fellow students, because you get the student body in behind that visiting bench, and we've seen some good ones over the last few years. We got to get the students out there at the games.
Yeah, I mean, our student body is amazing. We want them there. I mean, our players, I told them we need to get out and shake a hand and invite people to the game, and they're gonna, if you invite them personally, they're gonna have a tough time saying no. And they've done that, and they've been around campus, and we're gonna do some stuff tomorrow around campus to let them know that we want them there, and we want them to support us, and the only way we can win is when Lamar wins, when they're there and they're supporting Lamar.
Here we are, about 3 more minutes to go in the show, and we're talking to you here on Monday. Just talk about what takes place between 8 o'clock Monday night until 7 o'clock Thursday night. What's the schedule look like for the remainder of the week?
Well, tomorrow we have practice tomorrow morning, so we'll have them in the morning. We're doing some team building stuff at 7:15, and got practice. We'll be out on the field tomorrow we call it a fast Thursday. We're going to get out there and play fast and clean some things up, and then Thursday they'll have an extended period of time off from practice on Thursday to Friday when they show up for meetings. We try to give them almost a full day off, so that they can get their bodies right.
But so this week, will Wednesday be the off day?
They're not off. We have a jog through on Wednesday afternoon, and then we'll have team meal, team function. We'll be together on Wednesday night, and then we'll wake up in the morning on Thursday. We'll eat breakfast together. We'll do a walkthrough we'll do some meetings. We'll send them out to rest for a little bit and then bring them back for pregame meal. We're going to walk through the tailgates from our dining hall.
Very good.
Over to
come across the walkway.
Yes, sir. And then just get a chance to get our minds right and get ready for the game.
How excited are you?
Pretty excited. Yeah, I want to see what these guys got.
Again, that's going to be coming up on Thursday. Then the following week, you hit the road to Louisiana Monroe. But again, Thursday night, coming out of that tunnel, we hope to see a good crowd out there.
I do too, and I just would tell the fans, show up. I promise you're not going to be disappointed. You won't be disappointed.
All right, Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to about do it from Little Woodrow's. Again, the Lamar Cardinals and Idaho coming your way, coming up on Thursday. We'll have that game for you right here on KLVI, a 6:30 airtime and a 7 o'clock kickoff. I'll be rejoined by Kyle Gillum for kickoff coming up on Thursday. Can you believe the support we're getting?
Yeah, it's incredible.
So anyway, but again, thank you, folks. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. We do appreciate it as we wind down this week's show. Again, we're on Monday night tonight because of the Thursday kickoff, but starting next week, each and every Wednesday, right here from Little Woodrow's, and what a place to hold a show.
Great place. Love Little Woodrow's. The people who work here are tremendous. What a great atmosphere being outside, and it's so much fun. We want you down here next week on Wednesday so we can talk a little bit on the next game.
And hopefully we'll have some good news to pass along.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach Pete Rossomando, again, the Coaches Show coming up a week from Wednesday. We'll be back out here. I want to thank our folks at Little Woodrow's, and also thank everybody for coming out here tonight supporting Lamar University Athletics. Again, Thursday night, get your tickets now, 880-1715. If you haven't got your tickets by now, 880-1715 for your tickets. Lamar, Idaho. Matter of fact, get your season tickets as we're getting set to get underway. The next home game will be a couple weeks after Thursday when Lincoln University comes to town. Coach, we'll see you Thursday night at Provo Humphrey Stadium.
Thanks, Harold.
All right, that's going to do it from Provo Humphrey Stadium Thursday night. Good night, everyone.